At Lonsdale Street Studio, we believe in the power of storytelling to connect people and create change. That's why we're proud to be the production partner for this Running for Resilience podcast.
A ton of singing, heaps of interviews. Like, it was so well done.
They do it well.
It
Yeah.
was, mate, and yeah, just sad we only get it once every 12 years.
Yeah. Well, the World Cup, though. I'm already building optimism.
We should go down to the MCG for one of the knockout matches.
I'm going to make a thing of it.
Trip to Melbourne.
Because
I can go to Sydney, heaps of my folks are there, but I'd love to do a lads trip down to Melbourne for rugby.
I'm keen. My kids are old enough. Like,
Kiwi Dave, if you're listening, Kiwi Dave will sort it out. We'll get all sorts of tickets.
I'm keen. I can't wait. But I guess we'll start now. Updates. We're kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit because you and I have a convo every week to sort of talk through what R4R is doing, what we can do. And this hopefully is going to, bring people into the conversation, I reckon, but also show them how the sausage is made in a way. And yeah, just bring people more people on the journey.
Big on showing people sausages.
No.
My sausage is pretty cool.
No, okay. On a Canberra cold morning too, so you don't want that. But no,
Chiffolata.
But it's certainly all happening at the moment. It is busy, but it feels like the best kind of busy R4R.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, mate. I'm more interested to hear like what you think things are going, because you're living down the coast. You're not in it every week. You're seeing the messages and all that, and you're coming out for board meetings, and like potties, but from when you sent that doc, the first email, to where we are now, I mean, we can give people a little update. I haven't made notes of like how many events I had to write it all, type it out. So I guess you sent an email asking us to host a one-off run for mental health.
Yeah.
Doc, and we said, no, we showed everyone beer and pizza. Anyway, that was nearly 6 years ago. So now we've got Monday morning, 6:15 a.m., Tuesday morning at UC, Tuesday evening at the Denman Kitchen, Wednesday morning at St. Clair's, Wednesday lunch at the AFP, and then Wednesday evening at the Dock. So that's still the biggest one. 8:30 a.m. at UC, 10:30 a.m. at the Docks strolling, 11 a.m. Torrens Primary, and then 6 p.m. at the Jetty. So that's Thursday, so we're at 10. 6 a.m. 2 before 10 Greenway. That's the quiet one we sort of just started about a month or so ago. 6:15 a.m. at the Dock, 11 a.m. at Canberra Grammar, 5 p.m. at UC, and then nothing on Saturday, Park Run Day.
Yeah, yep.
Keep that clear. And then Sunday, 3 p.m. at Frankie's, and then we've had recovery for resilience every week at Aquis Gym, my sister's gym. Throw in monthly yoga that's been going for a month, and now we had our first sort of racket pickleball for resilience. And I know that's a lot, but I'm more keen to hear the journey in your mind from when you thought to email the doc and reach out to where we are now. I'm more keen to hear your thing, because you're sort of, viewing it from the coast, viewing it from afar. The growth and what we should do next.
I actually reflect on this quite a bit, because even from the start, it was all pretty novel, right? When we were getting 20, 30 people, it was like, can you believe this is happening? You got 20, 30 people, and then it stepped up again, 60 people. Then we got our own drink at the Dock, rum for resilience.
I remember you being stoked. We've still got the photo.
One of my highlights, yeah.
Holding this photo shoot to put it up on the thing.
So it's all been novel throughout the entirety of R4R. Every step forward has been like, I can't believe this. And it went back to the start. As soon as I put my story out there, heaps of people came out of the woodwork. And I think you're the same. When you started sharing your story, like you shared it in the Canberra Times, and I came out of the woodwork to sort of hopefully join forces, join stories. But people just want to help. And I think one of the things that R4R has done really well, that I'm proud of myself, but also proud of everyone else who's been part of it, is we've given opportunities to anyone who wants to be a part of it to have a crack at whatever they want. So all those extensions of R4R, somebody else has pretty much led it, and they've made that version of R4R their own version. And it's just a natural organic growth that I'm seeing from an outsider's perspective, and it's just awesome.
Well, on that, and I had to make more notes because I think it's important to call out all those people who have come in, joined forces. Like I've made notes just so I don't want to forget anyone there, and I probably still forgot someone. So we had obviously Shooter from the get go, and Morgs. So they've helped launch the Frankie's Run. Shooter obviously helped with the Jetty Run with Bailey. Jen Cunningham and Maddie Tamil from the 2 Before 10 group. They've been amazing support with the Tuesday night run and then helping pilot the Friday morning run. Obviously, Jess and Rich Peel, who we've had on, who've been, they've been the biggest. They've given us probably the biggest nudge to step things up and not get serious about it. I think we always take it pretty serious, but just start looking at R4R in a different way, a more formalised. I don't know, just having,
Well, that was the biggest change, is when we
nudge,
became
a formal
charity.
And they were the nudge for that. Obviously, the crew here, Damo and Lonstar Studio, helping us with the pod.
Producer James, over in the...
Dee helping with safety.
Yeah.
Like, I think also her sharing her story was unbelievably powerful when she did that last year. And then obviously got Lily helping up, Lily Mooney, obviously helping get recess for Resilience into St. Clair's, her on the potty and also sharing her story at the community forum. And then helping Danny with like the gala night. I mean, Danny Shue helping with everything, finance, weapon. Willie Mackay.
Melbourne Cup trophy.
Was that Danny? Yeah, when we got the Melbourne Cup.
Our cup.
About novelty, having the Melbourne Cup presented to the winner of the R4R gift. I don't think anything gets more novel than that.
Our trophy. Then they took it back to Melbourne.
Yeah. So I don't think anything gets more novel than that. But then you had like recently, like Will Mackay and Trish just helping out all things safety. Like Willie Mackay just said, keen to help out, comes to a safety meeting. Next thing he's flagging every light that's out along the lake, flagging it to the government, putting us in touch with lawyers, helps give this pro bono work. Trish, who's done she does like welfare work. Like she then reviewed so we've got an app for our volunteers helping us manage, making sure we've got volleys at each event. Trish reviewed it and helped us put a well-being check in there. So make sure volunteers check in with themselves before they take something more onto their plate and sign up for an event. We obviously got Sam and Mel have also helped with documentation and processes. You got Jane, Maria and Liz with strolling, driving it there. Obviously Mama Maria, what a legend.
Mama Maria.
Pip and Rich from the Healthy Tradie Project helping out with obviously keeping the yoga going once a month. Sorry, guys, we're going a bit longer there. This is a bloody long list, and you can see why I had to write one down. You even got Darren and Sonia from Canberra Racket Club who reached out, helped us do that pickleball paddle day, which was incredible. And then you got all the teachers that have helped with Recess for Resilience. I don't even think listeners will even have heard of Recess for Resilience, but we're in 3, soon to be 4 schools. Adam Buck, long-time R4R legend, helped with St. Clair's. Adam Hall, Georgie Mack at Grammar. You got Steph O'Neill, who old friend of mine from KPMG. She's at Torrens Primary, helping us get into there. We've got Mr. Robson helping us get into Forest Primary this Friday. My kids won't listen, but that's the only school we reached out to is Forest Primary, because my girls. And they did ask, my girls go there and they asked, Dad, when's recess weekends come into Forest? I said, never, you guys, no.
You guys don't.
We obviously went to Grammar, your alma mater. But yeah, that's and we'll probably have, that's a whole conversation itself, what's happening with recess. You got Brooke, who helped do a submission on behalf of R4R into the ACT inquiry to male suicide. Brooke's done a heap of other stuff, even she was just, even this morning, messaged me. She's reaching out to the Medicare Mental Health Services Centre to just talk to them about how we handled some messaging in the WhatsApp.
How we can be better.
How we can
more
be better.
safe.
Yeah, and then you got all the people helping out the AFP. The AFP run on walk on Wednesdays, like Lisa Doyle leading there, and then Greg and King Julian. You got the UC students helping out on all those UC runs. So there's 3 now. There was 1, now 3. So Lockie, Jackie, Annabelle, Michaela. You got the interns have helped, and we've even got my brother, even from Sydney, Denver comes to events, helping out, doing a lot of the editing. Well, not the editing, but all the. What did he do? He was helping you with the thumbnail and
the timestamps.
Timestamps.
So if there's a slip in that, it's because he's a busy man at the moment.
Yeah, well, he had his 3rd kid, so cut him some slack. But even he's helping. Most stuff, and someone really want to call out bloody Timbo Fulton. The guy just off his back. Just built us a whole new website, keeps doing all the merch.
He's a weapon.
A weapon. And Oh no! If I missed anyone, I'm sorry, but I was like, I knew we were going to have a bit of an update, and we just had to. I've definitely missed people. Absolutely missed people who.
Well, then just all the people that add to each event, the friendly face, the welcome,
there
the
is
things of
one
the world.
person, Ellie, bloody Ellie Thompson.
Yeah.
That like rocking up, making sure everything like on that Wednesday night. Ben, where's the ladder? Ben, where's the milk crate? Ben, the speakers. Like just keeping us on track. It's just incredible. Ellie, if you're listening, we love you. And it's people, as you were saying, there's just so many people contributing towards trying to make Canberra suicide free in so many different ways. That is the bit I just look at that list like, mate, look at that. It's massive.
And that'd only be
and that'll be a fraction of what it'll be in another 12 months' time.
Yeah.
So sorry for cheat notes, but like,
no.
As you can see, I didn't want to miss anyone. And even then I missed Ellie. I mean, how could we forget her? Love you all is what a ride.
It is. What a ride indeed. What that makes me think, and what we're kind of seeing is how much running for resilience mimics personal good mental health. Like, if you have a perfect day where you get your exercise and you get good sleep, food, social interaction, all that kind of stuff, they're repeatable habits that put you in a good place to handle stress, take advantage of good times. At the moment, we've got so many people doing what gives them energy for R4R in line towards a common goal that just keeps putting us in a good position to handle a cold Canberra winter, but also handle all this momentum that's coming our way. People just, I'll do that. I'll do that. And it just seems that when we first had that meeting about making R4R something more than just a community movement, it was better, not bigger. And everyone that is adding to R4R is trying to make it better. And it's just going wild.
I mean, while I have forgotten more people. Like we had Brent Fordy and Cal Gates have helped host potties.
Yeah.
And of like Murray Bruce, like Murray
would have just been released.
Yeah, Murray. I mean, he's done so much from almost day dot. And Singy, like the super spreader. He ever meets someone, you can. Lucky I see Sing during lunchtimes during the week for like a Tuesday run from our office. And he's in there trying to drag people along to R4R events and just the super spreader of the R4R virus. Like, I'm sorry. I just keep thinking of all the people. There's just so many wanting to try and contribute in their own unique way, and
it's got to be that way, because if we zoom out to our goal, making Canberra suicide free,
it's a collective.
It's going to take Canberra
100%.
Yeah, so it's the more people that want to contribute to it, the better, because that's how it has to happen. Everyone taking care of their own patch of grass, working with the systems for the more serious mental health and mental illnesses. It just has to be that way, and it's just so good to see it in action. People, I think that's what, I enjoy most, is just seeing how people take it on as their own and use it to improve their world around them. I love seeing it. I can't even comprehend where it could be if it continues at the trajectory.
Well, and even just in the last few weeks, we've had potentially another uni in Canberra. I won't say which one. I've had requests from interstate and multiple requests interstate and even overseas for R4Rs to start. And even last night, I was in a room because of R4R with the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
First time I've ever sort of seen Albo. I was in a Parliamentary Sports Club season launch, and I was only there because I got invited because of R4R. So very...
it's happening.
Man, it's
all
crazy.
Happening.
And it's just we said we got the pickleball for Resilience Day, we have the recovery for Resilience each week, yoga once a month. There's they've had at least 2 or 3 other sports reach out wanting to start a monthly day, because we're not trying to get everyone running. We never have from the start. We've been trying to bring people together. Bring people together. And I don't think there's a better way to do it than doing some exercise and having a drink after, whether it's a water or a beer or a coffee, just doing some exercise and then holding a drink and everyone doing it, and then holding a drink and having a bit of a chat for 15, 20 minutes after, you're not going to make best friends in the first week. But if you're doing that, I was chatting to Will Mackay about it the other week. It's like him and I become really good mates now. But it's been just sort of chatting 5, 10, 15 minutes once a week, once a fortnight, consistently for a few years now, where we eventually become really good mates.
Add layers to the friendship.
It takes time. And so that I'd like to think, we're doing amazing stuff. And the other bit that excites me is we could be doing stuff so much better. There's a lot of stuff we're not doing great. And that's like, I find that exciting. Like, imagine if we sharpen some of this stuff up, get even more people involved, get more people doing, in their sweet spot. And I think the amazing thing, and I sort of really learned this the hard way in retirement, that, man, there is nothing better than being part of something bigger than yourself. And I missed it from being the Brumbies and being part of sports teams to then being on my own, trying to do a startup on my own. And it's
the
just
best.
so good to be part of a community, everyone pushing in the same meaningful direction. That's awesome, mate. It's awesome. And I just couldn't be more excited for what's going to happen. By the end of the year, in the next 2-3 years, as long as we keep, the suicide rate data will come out again in October.
Yeah.
So for 2024. So all eyes on that for us. And let's hope it continues in the direction it's going. And if it's not, we'll just have to adjust and maybe up our game or change our course, whatever. But I really, mate, the other thing I'm most proud about is we've never once said diversity or inclusivity. And, mate, you look at the board, it's like almost 50-50 male, female, people from all different countries, stages of life. And we've never once tried to push diversity or.
Because we've made it about shared experience, being human. Everyone goes through something. And
Whatever
it just brings,
your age, whatever your socioeconomic background, whatever your sex.
And it brings that person out, somebody who's been through something, which, as we know, doesn't discriminate. There's lots of things I'm proud of with R4R. It's funny because I'm not sure where we should go with pulling the curtain back on.
In what regard?
On what we talk about first with all that's happening. But I'll start with what you spoke about, the drink in the hand. I sometimes think about things a bit too deeply, and I thought about what is it so good about having that one more drink when you're at a friend's for a dinner party. You want another red wine? And then, I'll have another red wine. It's like, it's a commitment to staying at the table for another 30 minutes that I think everyone enjoys. It's like, I'll be here for another 30 minutes. I think having the drink in your hand, whether it's a coffee, whatever it is.
Water, whatever.
It's I'm here until this drink's done. And that kind of gives you a bit of space to just be in the conversation. And there's something simple about it, but I think I've felt it at the coffees. I've felt it after the run. It's just, you're there in the moment. You've just enjoyed an experience together, a run or a walk, and now you're enjoying a chat together. And it's all under the umbrella of a common goal. It's like, we're here for a similar reason. We've got commonalities. How are you? And it doesn't have to be serious. It's just people creating experiences together. And it just brings this community together. And the more it comes together, the stronger it gets. I think people then become emboldened to give more because they know that people aren't going anywhere. It's like people on the board kind of just always holding a drink, if that makes sense. It's like people who are part of R4R, there's a high level of trust that, hey, I'm here. I might step away for a little bit, but I'll always be part of this community. And that kind of gives people trust to be themselves, keep showing up, do whatever they want in pursuit of a better community, in pursuit of the goal. It's just...
Or just to do something good for themselves.
Yeah. And I think there's something really powerful about, and I think that's why we've seen it work every time we've tried to, or every time we've responded to a demand to start a new run. It's
how can we? No, why can't we?
Yeah, and the drink and the chat after is super important because of that reason. It just gives people a bit of a trust that people are going to be there and they can connect. It's super simple, but I just I'm blown away by it. But recess, I mean, that's the new one. How did it come about?
We got an email from someone at Grammar who I knew, a friend of mine, and just said, the email said, it's like in January, and they were going, we go through waves of like, we get all these requests in about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it sort of goes quiet, and then we get a heap of requests, and it's just sort of when everyone comes back from holidays, there's people got energy, feeling good, excited for the year, and we had someone from Adam Hall and an old teammate of mine, Jerry Yanni-Onutawa, old teammate of mine who are at Grammar. They just emailed, and I think they were saying something about, loving what R4R does, and could they, I think they said something about, can we bring Grammar to the school like down on a Wednesday night? And at that point we were like, as the board trying to figure out, how are we managing, 500 people?
Because at the time
we were growing, and we're like, oh, sorry.
Can we handle another 1,000?
We couldn't, no. And we were like, no, we can't. We're doing a really good job with safety. We can always do better, but I think we're definitely getting a lot better at managing larger crowds.
We're trying hard.
We're trying bloody hard.
Yeah.
And but then we said, oh no, well, but let's catch up and have a chat. And so they came down just over a beer, just chatting away, brainstorming ideas. They're like, well, why don't you come up to Grammar, and we'll do like a weekly walk with the students, the junior school students. So you and I went up. So we spoke the junior school, spoke the senior school, and it's just a super simple. It's a 10-minute walk, one recess a week, to help. And the goal with the kids, R4R's goal is suicide-free Canberra, but for the goal of Recess for Resilience is to make Canberra the happiest and healthiest city in the world. And we think to do that, we need to exercise with friends and check in with each other.
Good habits.
And and so when I was young, knew exercise was good for my body, helped me manage weight, all that stuff, but I never knew how good it was for my mind and my nervous system, that doing movement and doing it with friends, how good that is, like the neurochemicals and how good it just makes my nervous system feel. I didn't know that. And so I feel really passionate about the whole point of Recess is to try to drill that into kids at a young age. And it's kind of the preventative, because once we get...
It's a tool for them to use.
For them, for the future. So like hopefully, if we're to get Canberra suicide-free, we then got to keep it suicide-free. We don't want suicide rates to come back. And I feel if it's kind of, if you zoom out and look at the R4R strategy, Recess is kind of the preventative part that won't make much of a difference for the next 5 years or so, but maybe in 10 years' time when those kids are in the workforce, they're trying to juggle work, they're trying to juggle family life, and they're just... they don't have as time in their week to just play handball with their mates like you do as a kid. You got so much time every day to play with your mates. But then when the realities of adult life kick in, hopefully the kids know the importance of at least once a week, I need to go do something with my mates, whatever the sport, whether it's rugby,
or
AFL,
if I move to a new town, I've got to join a club.
Join a club, exactly. So that was Recess, that kind of idea. It's super simple, 10 minutes once a week. So we got into your alma mater, Canberra Grammar Junior School, and it's gone great. And then, so we had no real plan with it. It was just launch and see what happens. Anyway, it's gone great. End of that term, we had a teacher, Steph O'Neill from Torrens Primary, said, we really need this at Torrens. And so, launched it there. The first one, we didn't even have a wet weather plan, right? What happens if it rains? So we rock up to Torrens. I went and did a talk at their assembly, and then rocked up for the first Recess Resilience at Torrens, and it was pissing down. And so we just went into the assembly hall and played games like tips or forcings back. I can't remember exactly what game. We just played games. And I was like, and it was great. The kids just for 15 minutes on a wet day had a bit of a run around in the hall, and
just kept moving.
And they just kept moving. And I was like, wow, like we had no wet weather plan, but the school, I had to meet all the school safety. The school's got all their safety checks and risk matrices, and before we launch, they have to, the teachers go through all that with the school, so it's all super safe, all within the school rules.
Yeah, they're really taking it on, which is awesome.
It's amazing. And then Adam Buck, who's R4R OG, Mr. Buck, got us along to St. Clair's, which is our first crack at a senior school. And we had Lily Mooney, who obviously all the listeners would know. She's ex-Claire's girl, so she went along, and they had the whole school there for the launch. It's been school holidays, and there's been some wet Wednesdays, so it's still in its early days there. And then we're about to as I said before, launch at Forest Primary where my girls are. They don't know, and hopefully this pod won't be out till after
August 22.
No, this Friday. So
Okay, yeah,
I
it'll
don't
be
know what's
after.
the date, but yeah, it'll be after.
It'll be after.
So we'll have launched actually at Forest Primary by the time this pod is out, which will be amazing. So
That's one thing we've learned.
and we've had more schools reach out too, and we haven't even market. We've done no, like, because it's kids, you can't just take photos and post on the internet, like you got to call kids privacy and
Yep.
So we're lucky Canberra Grammar got approval to do. Sorry, Canberra Times did a story about the grammar launch, and they were able to get approval for a few photos, and the parents were all approved. Blah blah blah. And we posted on LinkedIn, and I had a few parents reaching out. We need this in my kid's school, and so I guess kind of like R4R, it was just we just launched one, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say other than
Well, you're making me.
it's super exciting with.
you
And
make-
I'm like, well, sorry, you go.
You know, you're making me think about something that R4R's taught me, but also what's working for us is launch, iterate, put it out
Launch
there,
safely and
launch
iterate.
safely, iterate, have a crack, and then people come out of the woodwork. And it's just as long as whatever we're doing, we can continue doing, we do it, and then people just go, yeah, I want to be part of it.
And some of the runs aren't getting crazy numbers, and that's
That's fine.
Like
Almost good in a way to have that. I mean, Shooter spoke about it on the last. It's great to have those small, intimate runs that people who maybe are nervous about big crowds or don't do well in those settings can plug into those and up. And it's depth of connection that matters.
and even if as well, I guess what I was going to say was even if we have to just go, okay, the R4R hasn't recessed for resilience, or R4R hasn't worked at this location, that's fine. We might put it on pause, or we might stop it and review and maybe launch again at a later date. I mean, so far everything that started still continuing, but there'll come a day when maybe one won't. Maybe this is just for my own anxieties or whatever, but there might come a day where one of the runs we might have to shut down just because it's not built momentum. And,
Well, it's a possibility.
and you don't want the the volunteers to feel like handcuffed to, oh, I've got to turn up every week. And you don't want it to become a burden on people. And that's why we're so lucky on the Wednesday night. I know there's been points over the 5.5 years where Shooter and I were like, shit, dog was already busy and we got to get ready for R4R.
It's busy. Yeah.
It's busy. And, Shooter said on the episode with Cal and Jess, he's like, it's a lot of work to set the pub up for it, to make sure it runs smoothly. And
500 people.
yeah, well, to get all the waters ready. And so Shooter, he said, Benny, man, I'm finding this a lot of work getting this ready. I'm like, well, I'll make sure I'm here every Wednesday now. And then now we got the volley app, and we've like 7 or 8 volleys every Wednesday rock up. Ellie's there beats all of us there. She's already filled up most of the waters, or Stevie Gamara,
Stevie
or
G.
Stevie G, or Mama Maria, or there's heaps of them. Mel, Sunday, Trisha, there's heaps. They're filling up the waters, and now it's actually a breeze for the doc to host a
Got the
Wednesday night.
systems.
We got the systems, but we didn't. Man, if you'd said in that email, mate, we're going to have systems for filling up water and blah, blah, blah. Well, what? This all just sounds too much work, but it's just gradually each week gotten
We've become more resilient.
as a system, as a community. We are more resilient. We do know how to, if there's lightning, we just cancel it. All good. We just cancel it. There's always next week.
There's something in it because every time I go through something in life, I get better from it. Like, it's still hard, but you learn through experience that it's going to be okay as long as you do these things, and as long as the same with anything. I think with R4R is like we go through something, we learn from it, we get better, we keep iterating, and
on the weekend, so we were talking before we went live about the rugby, and so this will date the episode, but the Wallabies lost on the weekend to the Lions in Melbourne, and I went the night before, went to have dinner at Dean Benton, our Brumbies trainer's house, and he used to always have these amazing quotes. He used to tell us at training, and he actually, he's got a lot of them pinned on the back on his toilet door, and laughing about
you've
him. And
still got the times tables, don't you?
Oh, I've got no, but then I got him. He sent me a PDF, and he's got a 36-page PDF of all these quotes that he's just sort of heard throughout his career, and he had one for adversity. It was smooth sailing doesn't make skillful sailors. What is it? Smooth conditions don't make skillful sailors. And it's like, you won't ever get good at dealing with hard things or big things if you don't go through it, or go through hard times, or through adversity, or have challenges. you'll never become a person capable of overcoming them unless you go through them.
I think there's something in it too, and starting to enjoy, I guess, to keep the analogy going, enjoy the storms. There's, to an extent, obviously, you're not like, oh, great, I've gone through this hardship, but starting to enjoy, I guess, getting out of it. As long as you've got your life jacket on, as long as you know how to swim, as long as maybe you're wearing a helmet on the
What
side
about
of the boat.
enjoying like the complaints or the safety? Like, you enjoy having to deal with all that? I know there's been times where like, we never thought we'd have to deal with something like this. Or
No, it used to stress me out. So there were things that stressed me out because I had a sense of ownership, I guess, I don't want people to feel that way. Like if somebody came and said they had a bad time, oh man, I don't like, is that because of something we did? And you kind of, once you realize that you can only do your job as good as you can, and you can't really control anything beyond that, there is a little bit of a separation. So it's like, okay, what are they saying? Is it true? Okay, well, we should respond. We should be better. But if it's something that we couldn't control, it's like, okay, look, let's try and welcome this person as best we can, but let's not make it harder for ourselves. But first up, when you encounter one of those, you take it all on
you
board.
get an angry pedestrian or cyclist coming in. We've had, a few of our volleys have had angry cyclists yell at them.
Yeah, you take it all on board and you wear it and you're like, oh man, like I've let this person down. I've let R4R, like you wear it, but then you work through it and you go, what am I doing? Am I doing as best as I can? Am I trying to get better each time something like this happens? Yes. Okay. I need to cut myself some slack and look forward towards improving this situation. And it's, oh man, having twin girls definitely helped me enjoy the chaos of life a bit more. But then R4R has made me so much more calm when anything happens. It's like, okay, are the main things okay? Is everything that is a silver bullet, so to say, are we doing as much as we can here? And how can we respond best to this? And then as long as you're doing the main things and responding as well as you can, it'll be what it'll be. And being okay with that chaos, yeah, you become a better sailor.
Couldn't agree more, but are we spreading ourselves too thin? What do you reckon?
You and me?
Oh, just R4R in general.
Are we spreading ourselves too thin? I don't think so. I think it's a pendulum. I think there are times where we respond, we get excited. I noticed it the other day when I was getting excited about something and I had to remind myself of one life at a time. That's what it always has to be. So there's that pendulum of excitement. But no, I think we always try and double down on the nucleus of the community, double down on the goal of one person. This podcast is probably an example. We haven't gone out and tried to make it as wider viewing as possible. We've really tried to make it all about running for resilience and its community. And I think better, not bigger, as we found out in that first meeting before.
At Murray's house.
Yeah, Murray's house.
Apartment at the foreshore.
Better, not bigger was the slogan that came out of that, and better eventually ends up bigger. But yeah, I don't think we're spreading ourselves too thin. I think something we always need to be aware of, because gee whiz, it's exciting, and it's easy to see opportunities that other organizations or other communities have taken and gone, oh, that looks exciting. Maybe we can do exactly what they've done and be in the position that they are. Then you just have to sort of go, okay, maybe, but is that what our community needs? Is that what's required to help one more person and to put ourselves in a position to help more later? I think we've got a really good board. We've got a really good community. That's something else I'm proud of is whenever something's come up, like a problem we have to fix, or not that they're bad, but you put it into the board and they come back with all this response that is just through and through what R4R is. And I'm like, yes, how good is that everyone's remembering what it's about and not getting carried away with the excitement, because it is exciting. It's easy to go, right, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's raise more money, let's say, no. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. We gotta make sure we're not spreading ourselves too thin. Do you?
I feel at times all the events and I like part of me I've got to like let go and not go to as many, just fitting everything into, especially how quickly recess is growing. I find that, really don't want to make sure we spread ourselves too thin with that. Well, at any of R4R really, but it's growing so quickly.
It can grow
I think
quick too.
and it could grow even quicker. It's just that's I think our strategy today, and we're like, and something sort of. This is not against the other charities. Remember when you were working at the Snow Foundation, you saying about how, well-intentioned charities, they raise a lot of money and they all go full-time, and then, 12 months later, 24 months later, they're back fundraising.
They back themselves into a corner.
Yeah, and we never want to do that. So we've had to go slowly. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I do at times feel like I'm spreading. We are. So, especially with the recess, I just don't.
How do we stop it?
We need more people rocking it. Like, my only concern is that
more people.
Any of these events, it's not just like we set them up and then go, hey, here are the keys. You got to run it. Like R4R needs to not stay involved, but I don't know. I just personally can't keep getting to 4.
Yeah.
Recesses every week. And so this is what our normal chat is about. Like when Breeny and I chat and catch up, like everything R4R is 99.9% going amazing, but we have to, be honest about, everything's not perfect, and we try and improve safety and making sure our communication's clearer, and we're getting so much better every week. But a lot of the getting better is by just being honest about where some bits we're not doing so great. I just think we just need to make sure the schools are feeling well supported. It is crazy how quickly
it can grow.
It's growing, and how we haven't.
Well, schools as well, because they're taking a lot of the effort on, because they obviously have to look after the kids, and it all goes within their systems. They've got to make sure it's all hunky dory, and we just help them however they want. So it's super scalable. As many schools that want to do it, kind of.
I guess for the boys, I'm saying we need an R4R representative
at each to make sure that it doesn't lose its flavour, and that we're showing
just
respect.
Show them we're with you on this journey, school. It's not like school. Yeah, well, R4R, you've set this goal, and they're like, we want to help achieve that goal, but we're going to do it together. So we've got to do those events together.
Yeah,
and it's not they've signed up for it, now they've got to keep it going every week or whatever, and then they feel the pressure of
they need help.
Everyone needs help. That's the whole point of R4R, is to help get people the support they need. And then we've got to live that and showing the people that partner with us the right support. We have not done enough to bang on about how incredible the partnership with Medicare Mental Health Services Centre is. Like we've hardly touched on that.
Men's Link too.
Men's Link, and then having obviously Carrie Leeson from Lifeline. We're starting to do some more stuff with them, and the community forum was a really good, really amazing night to start talking about that stuff, and the stuff behind R4R, behind the events, is we're trying to connect people to the support they need. Most people just need to go for a run and do some exercise with friends. But then the next set of people who are not in a great way and they need the right professional support, how can we get them in through the doors of the Medicare Mental Health Services Centre into that system, which will then hopefully connect them to the right professional support?
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, just recess is growing. All these things are growing, and we're not even... I think we can do a much better job even promoting that pathway into Medicare Mental Health Services Centre. So how do we keep growing? But the thing is, we keep growing. Are we making? I don't know if we're making things better, because we are getting bigger. We're getting real big, real quick. Are things getting better?
Well, to channel your saying man, Dean Benton, focus on what is it? What did he say? Focus on
a lot of things.
Focus on your
nutrition and sleep, and training will take care of itself.
What are R4R's nutrition and sleep?
Well, it's literally the volleys and the board. Everyone modeling incredible self-care.
Yeah.
And then as a board, as a community, as volunteers, we'll all have energy to manage the stresses in our life, so that we'll have time and energy to go and help with all these events. Like the engine that's fueling all this is the volleys, the people, the board, and we need as much energy coming out of that engine as possible. The only way that will happen is if we all, as board members, all modeling great self-care, like being exemplars of sleep, self-compassion, stress management, exercise, all that stuff, which we are. But
so focus on the volleys,
and the ball,
and the rest will take care of itself in a way. But yet, it's a balance, right? We need to be able to say no to things when it's not right.
Well, we haven't said no. We've hardly said no to a thing. That's the only thing I think about.
We've said no to some things. Like, but it happens quick. That's, I guess, why. It's like we obviously get lots of requests, and it's...
Yeah, sorry, we have, yep.
And it's just...
We've said not now. It's not a no. It's more like a not now. Well,
because we don't have the energy to do what you've just been talking about. Do it justice. You know, we don't just want to get people part of the community just for the sake of having them part of the community. It's like, no, we're doing this for a long time. We want to do whatever you're suggesting for a long time. Let's try and make it work if we can. And the only way we can do that is if we focus on ourselves so that we're in a position to continue doing it, and focus on the volunteers the same. It is a balance as well, because I know, I guess both, especially you, but both you and I, it's easy to sink our teeth into a lot because it is fun. R4R is a lot of fun. And it's a balance of, are we pushing too much to make it unsustainable, or should we be giving more opportunities to others?
Is it about the mission, or is it about having fun?
The mission. And it's because ideally it's not the same people going to all the runs. Let's just use recess. So ideally it's not the same people going to every recess. It's hopefully people from within those communities or in the vicinity of those communities that feel connected to that school that want to support it, because that's the most sustainable. Somebody who goes, this is something I care about. I want to help this as part of R4R, not necessarily I want to help R4R and therefore I'll help this. It's a more sustainable that way, the bottom-up approach. And
if you're listening and you want to help, get involved. Give us a message.
Yeah, because it's almost the best thing about running for resilience is when others come to the table and put their own flavour on things is when the best things have happened. It's just been the most organic way that R4R has developed into... I mean, they're top of mind because hopefully they'll be on the podcast soon, but when Sunday Sippers did their own version of supporting mental health and R4R, it went gangbusters. Like, it just... Awesome. They raised over 20,000. Their whole community got behind them. They had 100 or so people running with Johnny V. It was just them becoming leaders. And if we can get more like Adam Buck, like Lily with Recess, like Adam Hall, like people saying, hey, I want to water this patch of grass. That's the way we don't spread ourselves too thin. And it'll go slower than usual, but it happened. What's the saying? You can do more than you think in a year and less than you think in a day, or whatever it is.
No, so you can do less than you think in a year, but more than you can think in 10 years or something.
Something like that. So
we overestimate how much we can do in the short term and underestimate how much we can do in the long term.
And if we trust the process of looking after ourselves, looking after the volunteers, that it'll start snowballing.
Well, and one thing that's helping, I think, with that is Timbo set up that communities of resilience in the WhatsApp. So there's all these different just chat groups about different topics. So Rugby for Resilience that's one of the more active chats.
It's been active recently.
It's been very active lately, but we recently started. Long time we had Writing for Resilience. That's gone quiet. Love to get that going again, because I think a part of great self-care is journaling, writing, expressing 100%. Yourself on paper. I know you agree. And the other one I've been really excited about so far has been the Sleeping for Resilience. I know you laugh, mate. I bang on about it, but I even think more than getting everyone exercising, if we got all community sleeping well, I think that's the number one thing that would lead to a suicide-free Canberra, is if everyone in Canberra could get a good night's sleep.
Because there's a lot of things that feed into it, isn't
So
there?
many things. I know it sounds simple, but it is bloody hard if you've got all these habits and you don't understand the science behind sleep. And that's something I really, especially next year, really want to really push that chat. And it's been good. People have been sharing tips. A couple of people have opened up and said, look, I'm not sleeping well. Anyone got any ideas? And the hard thing is I can say, look, these are the things I do. I have my sleep tracker, blah, blah, blah. But we're all unique and it's all going to, people have got to figure things out for themselves. But they've got to experiment. They've got to try things and then go, I slept a bit better if I did that. All right. And then try and bed that in as a habit. But there's many ways. Like I think, if we can get that.
Well, it's an
we haven't even
environment for them to test.
Yeah. Or a safe space to try things and open up and share. And I think the thing we actually probably do the best is we've created an environment where people can be themselves and put their hand up, I'm not feeling great or I'm struggling. And then hopefully we then can connect them with people who also struggling or have struggled in that way. And then it's that, experts and professionals have their place, but also that, it's not peer-to-peer, but like, what's the word, like lived experience sort of sharing. If we can, like Lily sharing, opening up about her eating disorder, then I no doubt she'll be able to help other people in the community with eating disorders just by her sharing her story and how her family.
This is what I did. This is what I went through.
It's and it won't be exactly the same for you, but here's some rough.
But at the very least,
path forward,
you're not alone, and that's like a huge one. And then just seeing a rough path forward and somebody on the side. I think that's the other thing is R4R has become, and the way we can keep doing it, we do it through this podcast, is we're giving people chances to be themselves, but also speak on behalf of Running for Resilience. Because there's you think about it, so you go at the top, let's go government, and then you got charities, and then they all do a really important part in helping save people from suicide and helping people be happy. But then on the bottom of the pyramid, you got, well, let's just say 440,000 Canberrans. There's different perspectives coming from all. We're going to need to see all sides of the Rubik's Cube to find the way to a suicide-free Canberra. And these little communities, this podcast, the RAG, they're opportunities for people to share their perspective, to either just help themselves, help somebody else, but also then add to this view of the landscape that we're going to need to find our next step. Like we kind of know where we're going at the moment. We know the mountains over there, the forest is over there, and we know recess, looking after the runs, looking after the volunteers. They're our next steps in a way. But the more people that share their opinions, the more of that forest becomes known to us. And it's just like you laugh, but the sleep, the sleep for resilience, like it's a part of it, and it's somebody's perspective that adds to this solution. One life at a time, sleep for resilience. There's people that care deeply about, I don't know,
gardening,
like
for resilience.
And it helps them view the world, helps them navigate the chaos. And it's just different perspectives that all feed into this.
There's also a little bit of subtle peer pressure, like,
What do you mean?
Well, like, why I find exercising friends so easy is if I had exercise on my own and it was in the morning, I go, I just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But if my mates are there, I'm like, I don't want to feel like an ass and not turn up. So it's kind of using that peer pressure for a positive to do something good for yourself. So we can keep creating these little communities, these little environments where we use human nature to peer pressure people in the right way, that it is not cool to brag about how little sleep you've been getting, that it's actually culturally uncool. And it's okay if you're not sleeping well, like that's totally cool. But that mindset of like, I'm so tough, I haven't slept, I don't sleep and I grind away, that mindset's got to die. So if we create that, that environment where we're using that sort of peer pressure, changing what's socially acceptable. Hopefully talking about suicide's a big part of that people can it is normal societally to talk about your mental health or about or about suicide, or
it's slowly changing.
It's slowly changing what society thinks is normal, and hopefully it will be, we'll be able to use sort of societal pressure to, pressure's not the right word, but I hope people know what I'm trying to say, like making it normal to prioritize sleep, prioritize your mental health, be okay opening up, getting help.
And we're letting the people decide, the community decide what it is that how they want to talk about these things. There'll be times where we get it wrong. There'll be times where we get it right, but it's a pretty, like you said, it's a pretty wild ride.
What do you think about this pod they had? Like, we've been going through all the events, like how, and apologies, and we've talked about a bloody lot of stuff. This like pretty hard to keep up with everything. Like, I find out trying to update
And we've
the
got
board
context as well.
yeah, update the board on everything that's happening. So if you've got any questions about anything that's happening, please get in touch. But we just to zoom in on the pod. What are we up to? 8, 9 episodes?
This will be 9.
This will be 9. So how have you felt it's gone? I mean, Damo and the team here are unbelievable at Lonsdale Studio.
Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be happier. Like, they're just bloody legends.
How's it gone? I think it's gone really well. We need to improve from our end, that is. It started because of, well, if you go back, the Meet the Runners, the little questionnaire that we had, just opened the door a little bit to let people know that struggle's normal. Started that conversation. And then we got guest articles, so people going in a bit deeper and revisiting old questionnaires of people who did it before. And we just started to get to know our community better. And I don't know about you, but it brought me closer to everyone that was in it, just knowing a bit more about them. And I think that strengthened the community because there's something to say for all the unspoken conversations. It's like when you're at R4R, there's almost like a head nod of we're here for similar reasons. And there's even more of a head nod if you know that somebody's been through something similar. It's just this unspoken connection and it just creates this strong community. And so the podcast was hopefully going to be the extension of that, even deeper connection, but also giving people an opportunity to, speak on behalf of R4R on what they think is important. And so far, I think we've tried to do that with the different hosts, different guests. But that's in my mind, it's like we're pouring fuel on the white hot part of the fire, not trying to spread the fire too quickly. We're just trying to get it super hot where the fire is and it'll take care of itself. You know, for example, we got probably not getting as many views as what some people might think you need as a starting podcast, but the average watch rate is like 25% of the podcast, which it's like 15 to 20 minutes of an hour episodes is the average watch rate. To me,
where does that rank?
I reckon it's pretty hot because to me that means that at any given time there is probably about 40 to 60 people that have watched an episode in its entirety. And if you put that in perspective of at an R4R event, if 25% of people, 40 to 60 on a Wednesday night at the moment, have watched an entire episode.
Only 9 weeks in or whatever.
Yeah, what that does for connection is pretty amazing. And what that does for ripple effects is even better. I mean, Lily got 100 to 150 messages from her community after her podcast. That's a ripple. That's some people becoming aware of her struggle, what she did about it. And someone within that community might be able to help somebody else. After you and Rich speaking, where Rich was talking about people's forehead and knowing when to ask.
Yeah, I still can't. I know what he was. I can't spot it in people.
It's a vibe. Like when you're sitting across and you can just tell that something's not right. It's the vibe. It prompted, I think, 3 or 4 people to go
check in with some people. Definitely.
That's what we're after. That depth of connection, that ripple effect that happens from these conversations is somebody really, because I think there's something. So Rich is part of the community. When somebody listens to the podcast, they give his voice more respect because he's part of the same team. And it's like, even if he's saying something that's different to what you might think, because we're on the same team, I'm going to give you more leash than I see someone in the news. It's like, it's not what I think. I'm not going to listen. But because it's there, it's like, okay, I'll think about that a bit more and take it on the ripple effect. And I just think that depth is what we're aiming for. And we're seeing signs already that it is what we're getting. And I wonder where it's going to go with all the different hosts that we could have and different guests from within our community. There'll be some great stories that'll come out of it.
Well, you asked Lily, there's anyone in the world you could get on? Who would you get on?
Who would I get on? Gee whiz. We'll get
Not The Rock.
no, not The Rock. No, he's not what he used to be. Maybe I'll put it out in the world and we'll see. I still need to figure it out, but maybe Shannon, my sister, would be. That was the name that popped into my head just then. So going with the gut. I think sometimes you got to, lead by example, and I would be nervous about it because
I think that's a sign you should do it.
yeah,
Ones that make you nervous.
yeah, can't expect others to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't expect people to come on and face their nerves, mate, if you can't.
Yeah, no, and we'll see where that. We'll put it out in the world. We'll see where that goes from here. But not Kimmy K. I'll
Shannon.
leave that to Lily.
Come on, Shannon, get on here.
Who would you interview?
There's a few I'd like. I'd love to see Lily interview her parents, talk about that share that from a family perspective. So I've got young daughters, no eating issues at the moment, but it would just be fascinating to hear her interview her parents. And I've spoken to them a few times at Parkrun, especially her mum after the episode aired the next day at Parkrun, and they're really, really proud of her. So I think that'd be an amazing conversation. Said to you, I'd love to hear you and Shannon. Love to get Shooter on here, chat with Shooter.
Yeah.
Just, he's ridden the ride.
Shooter's got an open invite. I think he wants to interview Kenny Nagus.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
So I'd love to see that. And then big. I mean, I'd love to get. I'd love to get a guy who's been doing some mentoring work with me, Ben Hudson, who's real just to get him on to explain the side about positive psychology and something that I thought was a bit airy-fairy. It's all positive thinking, but there's so much science behind it, getting people from most of psychology. Traditionally, all the funding would go into helping people who are suicidal or super depressed, get them from, feeling a 0 out of 10 to a 4 or 5.
Mm.
And that's kind of languishing. And I think a large part of society is around that 4 or 5 languishing. But the positive psychology is then how do you get people who are feeling a 4 or 5 out of 10 to feeling a 9 or a 10?
Mm.
And that's positive psychology. So most of what we traditionally think psychology is getting people who are super depressed, super bad way, getting them out of that and to feeling stable and what we call normal, but really they're just languishing. They're not thriving. And so he's been the best person who's explained it to me, helped me apply it large parts of my life, challenged a lot of my thinking. And I've never had more energy in my life as a result of working with him. He's been incredible. So Ben, if you're listening, he was at the G with me.
Ben Squared.
So I'd love to have him on. Love to have our good Senator, Mr.
David
Pocock. Love to have Poey on. The guys do incredible stuff. And just love to hear his.
But also R4R.
R4R OG.
Member before he was
exactly.
elected.
Yep. Love to hear his take on. He's been through a lot as a kid. Obviously, been very open about. He's had an eating disorder and stuff when they're going through a lot of turmoil with a family having to escape Zimbabwe.
Yep.
So he's got a tremendous story, and he plays a huge role. He'll play a huge role.
It's all part of
Canberra
it.
suicide free. So Poey's up there, and hopefully we'll get him on before the end of the year.
Yeah. It's all happening.
No promises though, Poey. I know you're busy calendar,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
But
No pressure.
Love to have you on, mate.
It is certainly all happening. We're getting up to the hour now, but
What a ride, A Breeny.
what a ride! I guess
Long may it continue.
long may it continue. And if anybody has feedback or even ideas, if there's prompted inspiration or ways we can do it better, we want to hear it because we're not. Well, hopefully, I don't think we are. I haven't met anyone in R4R that is driven by egos. It's egos in the goal, and if what you say is in line with the goal, we want to hear it because that's what we're after. But yeah, what a ride!
Long may it continue.
Yeah, hooroo!